Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogreboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2013 movie Iron Man 3. So, this movie is directed by Shane Black, and in this one, Tony Stark is suffering from PTSD after the events of the Avengers, and a terrorist known as the Mandarin has appeared and is blowing up buildings and stuff. One day he blows up a building that Tony's friend Happy happens to be in, and it sets Tony off, and he gives out his address and tells the Mandarin to come for him and everything. So of course the Mandarin blows up his house. He barely escapes and finds himself lost in the middle of Tennessee after flying for hours. He has to recharge his Iron Man suit, so he ends up going to this house, and he meets this boy named Harley, and he helps him get his suit going again and stuff, so he can go stop the Mandarin and save the president. When he gets to where the Mandarin is, he finds out that all this time the Mandarin is actually this actor pretending to be the Mandarin, and the real Mandarin of this story, because he's not the real Mandarin in the MCU. We actually got introduced to him in Shang-Chi, but he is a scientist who was rejected by Tony Stark when he was younger, back in 1999, and he's wanting to get his revenge and stuff on him, and he creates this power thing. I can't remember exactly why he created it, but he created it, and it's where he can blow fire out of his arms and his mouth and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy. Him and his little goons have these fire powers and stuff, and they're really powerful and everything, although he gets taken out pretty easily and everything. But there's a whole twist with the Mandarin not being the Mandarin, and it's caused a lot of people to not like this movie. I personally enjoy this one quite a bit. There are some things about it I don't like. And there's also this little subplot with Pepper and stuff, and him and Pepper aren't having the best time in their relationship, and Adrian takes her and is trying to experiment on her and injects the fiery stuff in her and everything, and Tony thinks that she died and everything, and turns out that she was barely saved and everything, which I thought kind of sucked in a little bit of a way, because I think that would have been a good emotional moment for Tony Stark if she really did die. But at the same time, I'm glad she didn't, because of stuff we get in Endgame, so it's kind of a mixed bag on that part. But this movie is pretty decent. I will say, once again, Robert Downey Jr. is perfect as Iron Man, and the rest of the returning cast are once again great in their roles. Jon Favreau doesn't return to direct, but he's back as Happy, and he's really good in here. He has that really dorky looking haircut at the beginning of the movie when they're in the 90s and stuff. It's kind of cringy looking, and we got a cool joke in No Way Home from that. And then you got Don Cheadle once again back. I love him as Rhodey and everything, but one of my big negatives for this movie would be that they kind of sidelined him in this movie, and one of my favorite things about Iron Man 2 was the chemistry between the two of them and everything. They were really good together in Iron Man 2, and this one they just kind of have him sidelined, but whenever he is on screen, he's great and everything. Once again, as Rhodey, I've always loved him as a character, and Gwyneth Paltrow is fine as Pepper Potts. Like I said, I've never been a big fan of her, so naturally I'm not like a huge fan of Pepper. I don't have anything against her. She just ain't one of my favorite characters, but she's fine in here. But I will say the new cast are pretty good in here. You got Rebecca Hall as a old one-night stand of Tony Stark's, and she's pretty good in here. She actually has a decent little character arc and everything. I really liked her in this movie. I think her and Robert Downey Jr. had a really good chemistry too. And it's like, man, I kind of wish she would have been the one to play Pepper, because I think she could have fit the role of Pepper even better. And then you got Guy Pearce as Adrian Killian, and he's fine as a character, but the character is so poorly written. He's not that memorable. Like Adrian Killian is one of the worst MCU villains, really. He's very underdeveloped, and he pretty much, the concept of having someone that looked up to Tony Stark becoming a villain because Tony Stark turned him down is not really a concept for a superhero movie we haven't seen done before and done better, like in The Incredibles with Syndrome. That little plot twist villain was way better in The Incredibles than it is in this one. And it just didn't work very well in this movie to me. I just didn't think he was a great villain. I did like Ben Kingsley, though. It kind of shows his range as an actor, because you see him being this threatening version of the Mandalorian, the one that we almost had, and everything. And I loved those scenes and everything. And when I first saw the movie, I was like, man, this is awesome. He's going to be one of the best villains in the MCU. And then you get to the twist and everything, and it turns out he's just this big joke, and he's this actor that's really funny and stuff. And it just showed a totally different side of it. Like, Ben Kingsley has both sides to him, the comedic chops, but he also has the chops to be a really intimidating character too. So I thought that was really cool. It showed his acting chops really well, and he was really good in this movie, I think, and everything. I used to not care for him very much when I first saw this movie because of the twist. It was kind of annoying, but the more I watch this movie, the more I like it, and I like him and everything. And after Shang-Chi, I just pretty much don't have anything against him anymore, because he just is really funny and stuff. He's funnier in Shang-Chi, but he is funny in the little bit of stuff we get with him in this movie. And I hope we do get to see more of him later down the line and everything. But yeah, and the visuals in this are okay. There's some CGI that's not very great, which you get that in all the MCU movies, but it does have some cool practical effects too and stuff. So it does still have some good action and everything, although this is more of a character study. It mostly focuses on Tony as a character throughout most of the movie, which I like that too. I thought that was actually a really cool change of pace for an MCU movie, and the way Tony was written is just really well done in this. It's one of his better character arcs and everything. I love the portrayal of the PTSD that he has and everything. It's written really well with the panic attacks and all that. The way it's portrayed is really, really well done and everything. And this is a good movie. It's not the best movie in the Iron Man franchise for sure. It's definitely not near as good as Iron Man 1. I do think it's a little bit better than Iron Man 2, but it's definitely not the best out of the three. But it is still a fun movie, and all in all, I'd give Iron Man 3 an 8 out of 10. I really enjoy it for the most part, and everything. I do think it's a little predictable and stuff once you get to that twist and everything. Looking back at it, it's very predictable where some of the story was going to go, because that twist really I would have never seen coming. Every time I watch it, I was like, they did a good job hiding that twist coming, because I'm not going to lie, that I didn't expect it and everything. And rewatching it, they did do a good job hiding the twist on that part, like him not being the real Mandarin. But the whole stuff with Adrian Killian is just not very well done. So, but anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Iron Man 3, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments what you think of this movie, and have a good day, everybody.